I realize.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Politics on Naija Parliament, a platform where we get young Nigerians to speak on politics with respect to their state and even the nation at large, where they get to speak on political development and economic development of their state and of the country. A time where we get to hear their honest opinion. I mean, their very honest opinion on political issues going on in the country and more importantly in their own very state. And that is why we are here once again this very evening. I am your uncle. I am your host on the show this very evening. And I am the man they might call Babalogy. With me today on the show is an amazing personality, a wonderful guest. And I'll tell you always, this young man on the show this very evening, he is a special advisor and chief protocol officer to USA local government of Taraba State. Of course, I just told you we are talking about Taraba State this very evening. He is also the chairman, PDP Youth Support Group, USA and Yamtu SCDA. And this young man is a very gigantic and strong PDP youth mobilizer. I am privileged this very evening to have on the show with me on Naija Parliament Honorable Danjuma Siterima, aka the Master. Honorable Danjuma, I'm happy to have you this very evening.
Uh, Thank you very much, brother Babalola, now
Yeah,
known as Babaloji. I really appreciate so
yeah.
much. Uh, you are doing a very
Thank you.
wonderful job. This is
Yeah,
what we have been longing for you to do. I really appreciate having me in your live show today. Thank you very much.
thank You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. All right, I will give a general overview of Taraba State before we now start going into the issues.
Yes.
All right. Now, Taraba State is in the northeast, as most of us, of course, would know. And Taraba State was created in August 27, 1991. And of course, we know who General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida created Taraba State. And I'll tell you, and as my guest is going to speak to us today, right from its creation, apart from its military administrators, Taraba State have been a stronghold of the People's Democratic Party. And I don't know why, but my guest is going to tell us this very evening why it has been PDP and PDP and PDP all the way. Taraba, like I said, in northeast Nigeria, is named after the Taraba River, which traverses the southern part of the state. Taraba State's capital is Jalingo. Now, their main ethnic groups are the Fulanis, the Tiv, the Momoye, the Mambila, the Wukun, the Jukun, the Kuteb, the Yadang, Ndola, the Ichen, the Tigun, and the Jibu. Taraba is a very blessed state with so many people. There are over 77 different tribes and their languages right there in Taraba State. The current governor of Taraba State, of course, I'll be going um, the Royals, Ishaku, and he's a member of the PDP. And Haruna Manu, the deputy governor, is also from the PDP. They have three senatorial districts. That's the north, the east, and the south, rather, and the central. Taraba State has a population of about 54,004. Oh, sorry, a population of 2,294,800. My research, which is with respect to the 2006 census, 2,294,800 persons in Taraba State. It has a land mass of 54,473 kilometer square kilometer, very large. As a matter of fact, Taraba State has the third, number three largest land mass in Nigeria. Number three largest land mass in Nigeria. But in terms of population, they are in number 30 in Nigeria. Taraba State has 16 local government areas. Yes, that is just an overview of Taraba State. Yeah, just a quick overview of Taraba State. Now, we are talking on, this is Naija Parliament, and we are discussing political development and economic development in Taraba State. Now, the theme is, where are we now and the future? Now and the future. So we'll be analyzing the achievements of the current government now, and of course, we'll be leaving very soon. Then the future, a new government will be coming. What are we expecting? Different from what his predecessor would have done. Honorable Danjuma.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No,
As
let
you
me go.
rightly
Let
said,
me go. Yes. Yes. Now, the performance of the current administration, side by side his predecessor, how can you assess it in 1 into 100, and what can you say about it?
all right, thank you very much. You know,
Oh,
every administration is put side by side with the national vis-a-vis the global trend. Now,
yes,
this administration was birthed in 2015, and which
yes, of course.
Nigeria just recovered from a pandemic of Ebola. So immediately while we're
Yes,
recovering, this administration now encountered another shipwreck. Though it comes with a lot of a pre-planned promise and manifesto, but a lot of
yes,
issues coming. So you can not only talk about the achievement of this administration without putting into cognizance what is happening globally or nationally. Now,
I agree.
irrespective of that, the ability
Mm-hmm.
to overcome this challenge and thrive
Mm.
or bring a lot of infrastructure to your people is what makes an administration stand out. Now, if based on your
Definitely.
question, if I'm to place it side by side with the previous administration from the scale of 1 to 100, I will say where this administration have performed 75% accurately.
75%.
Yes.
Now, with the first mark of 75%, I think from your analysis, they have done very well.
Yes, I in every score, 75
Yes,
is an excellent mark. So
yes,
I talk about 75, leaving the 35% because of the endemic and pandemic situations that we find ourselves in the nation, where a lot of projects are being cut short, flunging into
yes.
supplementary budgets and like so. Such gave rise to 75% performance, which I so much believe that the people of Taraba State are so much appreciative of the performance.
All right. Okay. Okay. Can you just tell us in few sentences what are some of the key developments um, in Taraba State of this current government? Can you just tell us?
Yeah, a new state like Taraba State and also an upcoming or developing state per se, like Taraba State, the fulcrum of development or what will bring it to limelight, first of all, is road network. And that has been the
Mm,
paramount position of the state. Is you know, when we
yeah.
talk about road network, the state government or the present administration have constructed a landmark project of 36 kilometers across the across the meat of
Then that's
the
correct.
town of township of Jalingo, a very
Yes.
gigantic project. I think the highest in Northeast as far as this regime is concerned. And secondly,
Yes.
other feeder roads in local government spread across local government in all the zone. In the northern zone, we know the Pantisawa Euro Road, and in the central zone, we know about the Gaso Road, the Pamanga Daka Road, and then in the southern part, we know about the Okari Sokondi Road, we know about the Takum Kasinala Road, we know so many of them spread across. This in the aspect of road network, which the administration deems it that is the bedrock of development. When you don't link people, where farmers and consumers in the urban areas, rural urban area, when you don't link them together with road, development can never thrive. Now, when you talk about in terms of security, the state government comes out with a plan to initiate a statewide vigilante outfit that is called Taraba Marshal, and where over 5,000 of our youth are engaged there in order to serve as grazing guards, serve as vigilant groups to safeguard our farms and all the like. And when you talk about in terms of education, no government in the entirety of this administration has ever employed over 5,000 teachers on the state payroll just to cope shortage of teachers in our education system. I think these are key prime projects that can put a particular state like Taraba in the spotlight. Thank you.
Yes. Now, basically, from what you have said, considering the road networks, very, very important. I think it is very, very important when you have good road networks connecting every community in the state. And of course, those in the villages can easily access the city with whatever agricultural produce they have and see that they are well sold in the city. And it is a very good one, a laudable one at that. Now, I want to come from this perspective. All right. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think, apart from the COVID-19, or which is normal to which affects every other state, like it does to Taraba, and they have Ebola also? I want to ask, what other challenges do you think this current administration has faced or is facing that you think may be limiting them in one area or the other?
Taraba House, one of the most accumulated ethnic groups in the whole of West Africa. Taraba State has over 190 something ethnic groups with different dialects, different tribes, and all the like. So when you see these kind of groups coming together in a vast diversity, there always arise challenge of ethnic superiority, ethnic domination, and this gives rise to conflicts and uprising. So a lot of disagreements all over with these national entities. Now, when you talk about herders farmers clashes, because predominant numbers of Taraba indigenes are farmers, so thereby and there are a lot of herders too, so thereby leading to herders farmers clashes, and this has given rise to a lot of setbacks. I can remember vividly there are some few road construction that are supposed to have happened in some location in Taraba State, but due to this ethnic uprising, it has given a pause to the project, and this is a setback. So unless the people trace their roots back and discover that we are first Taraba before any other ethnic superiority, this is when we'll start seeing good things. And I think these are just some of the few things that have stopped the states from executing some of its aimed projects. And that's why our governor always said, when you give me peace, I will give you development. And this is the mantra that have spread through from 2015 down to this time around.
Well, I think I love that maxim. When you give me peace, I give you development.
I give you, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't really have development in a place where there's no peace. You cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. That's an amazing. Now I want to ask you a question, but before I ask you, I want to ask before I go to band. The question is this: from 1999, 1991 rather, since the inception of Taraba State, it has been majorly PDP, PDP, PDP. Okay, permit me to run through something for you now from what I was able to gather. Now, the first democratic governor of Taraba State is Jolly Inyame. That's in 1992 to 1993, and it's from SDP. Now, he was also democratically elected after a few military interventions in the state. Jolly Inyame came on again in 1999 all through to 2007 and on the platform of the People's Democratic Party.
Yes.
Now, after Jolly Yame in 2007, and Dan Baba, Dan Fulani Sultai came on, also on the platform of the PDP. Now, we have a few interim governors, talking about Garba Umar, that was acting governor. He was from PDP. Also, Abubakar Sani Danladi was also from the PDP. Before we now have Darius Dixon Ishaku from 2015 now till this very present time, they are all PDP. How has the PDP been able to pull all this? PDP over and over and over again. How can you give us an explanation to that?
Okay, party ideologies matters a lot. And in as much as religion and religious affiliation and tribal abrogation has always played a very, very long role in our politics in Nigeria. Taraba is not an exception to that. We are a serious ethno-religious state. So thereby giving rise to this kind of profile as you've just listed now. Now, from 1992 and 91, as you have earlier said, 92, Joe Linyami on the SDP. Now, fast forward down to 1999. What play out is when during the birth of PDP, a lot of things play out. The SDP and other parties were trying to play a card of ethno-religious card, and that is what gave rise to Joe Linyami, because Joe Linyami was a church reverend. Now, being a church reverend and the conglomerate, or let me just say the church leaders, all the church in Taraba State leaders, when they put themselves together and decided to produce a candidate, and majority of the people of these states are from the Christians affiliation. So thereby producing a single candidate and standing by the candidate, definitely the candidate is going to win. So therefore, when they produce a reverend, their aim was because he's going to protect their religious belief and project also the state as a Christian state. That is what gave rise to Joe Linyami. He was duly and calmly nominated without strife and struggle against all odds. Although there are other of his Christian brothers that contested with him in other parties and also in the same party, but most of them were talked down to step down for him, and that was gave rise to his winning the election. And then from then, he performed very excellently, very, very well. And who don't like good performance? And when you relate some of his performance with other states that are being governed by other parties like ANPP in Yobe State, we all know in 2003, where everybody used to say the only state headquarters in Nigeria that has only one roundabout is Yobe State. What gave rise to this is misappropriation and bad governance. Yes. So they performed very well, and that gave rise to a transition of government. The same belief and ideology. Every party has its own ideology that guide them, and people are being focused by party ideology and the trend through which the party is placed. Now, there are parties that are tilted towards a certain religion. So people are very sensitive to such. So in a place where you can, it is very easy for you. You are from the Yoruba extraction of this country, and there's some time ago we made a discussion. I was trying to place the candidates that are contesting for presidential election against. I was placing them towards religion and ethnicity to see who will have the more favor the Yoruba extraction of this country. So you will discover that no matter how you do, as far as Nigeria is concerned, every election in this country, in the state and in the national, are being won and guided towards religious affiliations and ethnicity. So that is what has
Definitely.
placed PDP in Taraba State, and that has been their winning trick, and it has been like that since inception. That's why you have never seen any religion pitching their candidate in the PDP, because it has always favored the people's choice. And secondly and thirdly, our neighbors, go to the neighboring states that are not governed by PDP, you discover that they are not enjoying the benefits and the dividends of democracy like so a party yes, a party that has been giving you what you want. Go to Plateau State, go to
Yeah.
Benue State, as close to us as when we were giving out to APC, we'll know what happened. So a party that has been delivering in their campaign promises and their manifesto, who would want to tilt off the party? So that has been what has been happening. So we always know, and other religions, let's say like our neighboring religion that always are in accordance with what the party has been doing in the state, they also reject some of their other religion party and decide to pitch tent with the PDP, who not like better thing. So that is how the party have been thriving, and it will keep winning by God's grace
All right,
till when God says.
Honorable
Yeah.
Dimata. Now,
Yes, sir.
if I speak from the perspective of the ordinary Nigerian, because in the just concluded election, uh, Kefas Kefas Abu emerged winner, still the same from PDP.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And Emmanuel Boacha from the APC ran against Kefas and lost. Now, it simply means that for the next 8 years, it is still PDP.
Yeah.
If I see from the perspective of the ordinary Nigerian, I'll tell you the PDP having a stronghold there have been rigging the elections in Taraba State. What do you have to say to that?
Yes,
Because
you know.
Kefas is a Christian. Emmanuel Bacha is also a Christian, but from the opposition party. So how do we put that together
Yes.
from your explanation? Can you hear me?
Hello, are you with me?
Very well. Yes, I can hear you.
So, like a community dominated by a certain belief,
Yes.
and someone in a platform that sympathizes
Yes.
with the anti-people's belief, when they are the same treatment given to anyone against the people's belief will also be given
Yes.
to any sympathizer.
Okay.
This has been a normal thing in every culture. Like if I happen to travel to Yoruba land now, and maybe I see their traditional program or festival, and I decide to go against the tradition or go against the festival, and I am being given the penalty attached to it, and anyone from the Yoruba extraction that wants to come and sympathize with me, would they spare him? Now,
Not at all.
Emmanuel Bocha has been a strong PDP member. So all of a sudden, recently, he decided to defect to the opposition party, maybe due to what he feel has not been in order for him in the ruling party, which is a normal thing for all
Yeah.
Nigerians. But associating and affiliating yourself to the anti-people's platform will always be something that you'll be rejected wholeheartedly. Now, if you said they rigged the election, how comes in the hometown of the governor-elect, the two main opposition parties in Taraba State were contesting in this last election, the NMPP and the APC. If in the
Yes.
hometown local government of the governor-elect, NM people will get a woven up to 15,000 votes. You should be able to know. You should be able to know that there's nothing like rigging in this election.
Yeah.
Because if there are rigging, the elections wouldn't have played out in that manner for them to get up to that vote. So it
Right.
is an open ballot where everybody is allowed to make his choice. And Emmanuel Butcher have
Yeah.
pitched his tent and sympathized with people, with the anti-people's party, and nobody will take that. Why is he not going to court now? The reason is because he already knew he was beaten in landslide election, and we are not regretting anything about that. If he knows that he's a child, a prodigal son that have gone astray, he should trace himself back to his mother. Even yes, the Bible said, God said he's the true vine. Any vine that does not bear the rightful fruit will be cut off. If he knows that the fruit he's bearing now is not the fruit of the true vine, he can link himself back and bear the right fruit, and he will not be cut off. I think his sins will be forgiven if he does that.
Honorable Master. Okay. All right. Okay. I want to ask the how has been the post-election reaction in Taraba State? How has it been since the PDP won? How has been the reaction of the people in Taraba State?
There has never been a hearty jubilation and a hearty, lovely feelings like this last election, as far as Taraba State is concerned, because the election was purely divided against religious line. The Muslims faithfuls of Taraba State pitched their tents with the NMPP, even if they are members of other political party. They decided to shun their party and represent their religion, because that was what most of them were warned from their religious gathering, that they should make sure they vote for their faith. And it
Yes.
has been like that. It's only the Christian communities that divide their vote between Emmanuel and Kefa Sagbo, or else the
Yes.
entire Muslim families voted. Even those that are in PDP, we know most of our PDP members that are sympathizers of the NNPP, and they voted for their religion. And so when they, well, life is give and take. So
Sure.
whatever they have done, their actions towards it during the election, they have voted their candidate, and he did not win. And the election, which is very fair, free, and credible, I think everybody was able to take home what he has given in this election. And the whole atmosphere was very peaceful and calm. And we have a governor-elect that is not flamboyant. He is not good at unnecessary ceremonies and unnecessary waste spending. And so the jubilation was in a very accorded manner. All of us went to him, we were together, we feast together. And in fact, he dedicated some of the celebration to fasting and prayers, giving thanks to God to purify the entire state with prayers and all the like. So we, the Christian community, are very happy. Even most of the Muslims are siding with us because they knew the election was free, fair, and very credible.
And credible. Okay, I want to get
Yes.
your take now. Before my next question is youth, the youth of Taraba State and their participation in politics. But before I go to that question, I want to ask you, what is your take with the people of Nigeria um, viewing politics from tribal divide, like ethnic divide, religious divide? Do you really think that is best for our politics in Nigeria today?
The reason is that Nigeria is supposed to be a secular state, but viewing from our constitution down to our way of behavior in Nigeria, it is yet to be a secular state. And we are trying to be a secular state, but there are people that are hell bent on trying to sell the ticket of religion divide in Nigeria. And as a politician, if you don't buy into this ticket, you hardly make it in Nigeria politically. You can't be in the core north like northwest, and be a pure sympathizers of Christians unnecessarily, you will never make it politically. The people
Yeah.
would widely vote against you. So actually, it's never a healthy behavior. It is never, not at all. Because when you vote in someone because he's your religion or your tribe, and he's performing very bad, just like what we're seeing nationally now, a
Yes.
bad situation, insecurity, poor health facilities, poor road network doesn't
Mm-hmm.
affect only a particular religion or tribe. Now,
At
but
all.
people will never ascribe to that. People only just want people to be from their tribe or religion, and they are comfortable about that. So it is not healthy. But I think Nigerians need to wake up to that. How do we do that? We should implore people. What is wrong with putting your cabinet together to a test and see who performs better? Then you employ the person, or you make him your minister or a head of a parastatal. When we watch a lot of
Yes.
budget defense, we discover that most of the people that were there are because of their kinsmen. They are there maybe because they are friends of the tribes or relation or the religious partner to the president of the nation, and which is very, very bad. We believe Nigeria will improve from that as time goes on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that comment on that. Now, how would you rate the participation of youth in the politics of Taraba State?
All right. As I earlier told you, Taraba is a new state, and is still undergoing a lot of development, revolution. A lot of things are evolving now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, like with most of Nigerian society, the old people
Yes.
never want to give power to the youth, and most of them cite their reasons because of the youthful exuberances, youthful excesses, and all the like. No, from nationally, it's a national issue, because when the promotion for not too young to run bill was ongoing in the nation, it is not just ascribed to only the Taraba state. Although a lot of efforts have been put in place to see that we curb this, but in Taraba state at the moment, I can beat my chest and tell you that the youth are actually finding their place in politics, and they're doing very well, because right now we have a youthful governor. We have a lot of youths securing the seats of House of Assembly, which some of them are hopeful to
Mm.
become Speaker of the House of Assembly. We have
That's a,
23, we have 3 years old, we have 30 something years old youths gaining the seats of House of Assembly, which is a very, very good development. And our governor-elects have promised that he will never work with the old folks. They should remain at the advisory stage to advise the youth
yes.
on what to do, because a lot of challenges affecting the states, just like the nation, it requires people with energy, vitality, and the modern day technicality to handle some of the
Yes.
issues affecting our country. So now, like I was telling somebody, you can't call an aged person around 4 in the morning to come out for a particular program. From the program, you take him to another one till he should return to his bed around 2 in the midnight. It's very difficult. But a youthful
That's true.
person can afford such kind of stress. So that is what we need, because the present predicament facing our state and nation needs round the clock activeness. It doesn't need someone that is supposed to be part-time. That is why
You're right.
our governor-elect has promised that he's going to work with the youthful stage. He's not going to work with the old breed any longer.
All right. All right. All right. Yeah, that's a very good one. Quite encouraging. But I want to ask
Yeah.
now, with the involvement of Taraba City, what do you think can be done to encourage more youthful participation in the politics of the state? What do you think can be done to encourage youthful participation in a large uh, uh, quantity?
Um, you are looking forward. If I get your question very well, what should be done to encourage more youth in political space,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, moving forward, it's not just youth taking the space of politics, because
Mm-hmm.
all those causing political atrocities are youth. Those causing
Mm-hmm.
political nuisance are youth. So what we need are brave youth, smart youth, youth that knows what it takes to be in government, not youth
Mm-hmm.
with yes, youth without ambition. So now what we need to do now is to check the recruitment process of youth into political governance. Political
Okay.
participation is different with political leadership, because a lot of people can be given political position maybe because of their participation during the election, maybe because they were able
Mm-hmm.
to mobilize their family, their large family, or their friends, or they were able to handle one or two things that gives victory to the present government, and they're giving leadership as a compensation. Some of these things need to be discouraged. Not that when you are active in politics, you shouldn't be encouraged or you shouldn't be paid or compensated, but there are a lot of means of payment. Now, for instance, in my local government, we have a new caretaker chairman who is a youth. The vice is also a
Okay.
youth. So
Okay.
we can start from there. Now, another local government, Adokola local government, was replaced. Lao local government, their local government chairman was replaced with, all these are youths, very vibrant
Mm.
and wonderful youths. Yes, that we can talk about. So I think you can start from there. You give most of
Yeah.
these active MBGs to the youth, most of the active ministries, you give it to the youth, and you make them come with a lot of policies, youth-friendly policies, and you go through them and implement them to encourage other youth to come on board. And then there should be a lot of youthful programs. I think by so doing, a lot of youth can come forward. Like I used to tell people that you are given a position, and your personal assistant, you don't work with your personal assistant as a mentor. You always work with your personal assistant as a boss to a servant. These are things
Mm.
that make a lot of our youth not to have good experience. There's nowhere in the world you go looking for a job now and they will not ask you for job experience. So why not
Definitely.
treat your personal assistant as, yeah, as a trainee or as a protege? You being the boss, the mentor, and him as a protege, he's
Mm-hmm.
going to learn well under you. And by so
Definitely.
doing, he can know what is happening in the political space. I think that is how
That's
we
right.
need to keep doing to bring a lot of youth on board politically. If all the ministers, the commissioners, all the PAM secretaries, and all the political appointees and all the like will have a friendly relationship with their youthful personal assistants, there is no
Mm.
how after some years such personal assistants will not be political oriented, because a lot of things
Yeah.
happen in politics. If, if I forget, a lot of things happen in politics. What you are
Mm-hmm.
seeing is a little bit different from what is happening politically. If I begin to tell you some of them, now time will not permit us. But I want to tell you
Yeah.
that a lot is happening, unless if our youth, a lot of our youth are condemning, insulting elders on social media is not their fault. There are some things
Mm.
they are not privy to. If they are privileged to have the knowledge of some things in governance, some of them will have patience. Some of them will not go insulting. Like for example,
Yeah.
I was able to, my political leader provided a file for me to look at the
Okay.
budget of 2020. Now in this
Okay.
budget, there is another supplementary budget as well
Mm-hmm.
that was attached to it that needs to be implemented. But unfortunately, a lot of pressing needs like pension gratuities and other state benefits that needs to be attended to now diverted almost all the funds of the state government at that moment to such budget. Now, there is now supplementary budget. This supplementary budget is to give a adjunct treatment to the already made budget, because the initial
Okay.
money that's supposed to be budgeted for such is no longer there. Now, another thing that happened again
Mm-hmm.
was Lassa fever. Lassa fever came over and sweep off some funds, because you can't be paying for a particular road construction or providing a borehole or a motorable water system to someone without looking at the case of health. like outbreak
Last
of cholera,
time. Yeah.
Lassa fever, or COVID. So some of these things, you have to rush to them. When rushing to intervene in such program, you know that some of the budgets here will be going down. Now, how many youth or how many people are aware that the government was actually giving attention to Lassa fever instead of a certain road project that would have been done to a particular village? The next thing they will do is to insult such leader as a very careless and a very stupid person. But if they are giving privileged information to some of the workings of the government, I think it is going to reduce. Why I was able to have a privilege to such information because I'm in the system. Now, like a
Yeah,
local
that's
government
true.
funds, local government funds, there are 15% derivations from there that they use to fund state universities, state polytechnics, state colleges of education, send some of them to more studies on scholarship. Now, tell me, by the time these programs have been put in place, it is very difficult for the local government to acquire more funds to recruit more people. Because of that, reducing the rate at which more or new openings or new jobs are being given in a local government setting. But nobody will know the
Yeah,
workings of government until you are part of the government.
part of it.
So now,
Yeah,
when a lot of youth are given opportunity, they are able to have privilege to some privileged information and on the workings of government and will stop giving blames on people. These are public informations, but since
yeah.
a lot of people don't know, they don't have access to them. So we should encourage our youth that our leaders, our leaders, that they should have good relationship with their special advisors, with their personal assistants and special
Mhm.
assistants, so as to give them opportunity to have good training in politics.
Very well, Honorable Dan. Now, don't you think? Now, from what you just said, maybe you may react in maybe 30 seconds thereabout. Don't you think it is better that whenever we have such challenges in government that have been dealing with the people, don't you think it is better to disseminate this information so that everybody can be aware? Because, like you rightly said, people will not know.
You know,
But if our leaders don't tell us as citizens, we will not know. So, what do you think? Don't you think it would be right if our leaders should come out and say, okay, this is what we plan, but look at the challenges we face, so we will not be able to meet our target? Don't you think it is fair to do a fair thing to do?
it is very, very fair, but you know, political leadership, like I earlier said,
Yes.
that's why young people need to hit those offices. Political
Mm,
leadership is very tasking, very, very tasking, more especially Nigerian
mm,
political offices. If you see a lot of engagement that these people have dearly, they are very cumbersome. Though that should not stop them from giving day-to-day feedback to the people. But the problem is, who normally believe government in Nigeria? You understand? So they will say it, but people will neglect it. Okay, how many people watch government television stations? How many people? Like NTA.
mm,
When last did you tune the NTA stations? Okay, for example, because
mm,
these are some of the outfits that are always always on ground in many offices. Although
mm.
now so many private TV stations are also on ground, but what I'm trying to say is who believe. Okay, like my governor went on air on Channels television. He asked you if he really cared, he should come to Taraba State and check the whole of our 168 ward that he has projects, signature projects in each of the ward. Now, who believes him? Nobody. So that's how the things
Mm.
are. There are always feedbacks from the government. There are always communication from the government. But the best way that this communication can get down to people is when a lot of youth are being given the opportunity to have a foresight, a first-hand information to the runnings of the government. It will get back
Yeah.
to the society more faster than any other way.
Thank you very much, Honorable Master. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
it is still Naija Parliament, a platform where we have young amazing Nigerians to come on and discuss politics with respect to their state and in the country at large. And on our show today is a wonderful young man, a honorable. Now, I will not go back and start telling you, I'm telling you. But we have the privilege to still be having on the show today, Honorable the Master on the show this very evening. Honorable, I want to ask this question. There is no politics without violence. And these violence are mostly being enacted with the youth. Our leaders, I don't know how they indoctrinate these youths and they manipulate them to use them for their own selfish reasons. How do you think violence in our political space can be reduced drastically using Taraba State as a point of contact?
Violence can be
Can you hear me? If you can hear me, I can't hear you.
Hello, sorry for interruption. I think there was an interruption.
All right.
When the youth are economically empowered, violence will reduce because
Mm,
no one that has touched little wealth will want to destroy his life or destroy the wealth with violence.
mm,
So you
mm.
see, most in the global space, in national space, sorry, most politicians deprive the youth from uh, from having monetary influence just because they can fine tune them, use them as a tool. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the only way to cop this is to batch by batch empower the youth,
Yeah,
lift them out of poverty. By the time they are being lifted out of poverty, a lot of them will shun violence. A lot of them will stay away from violent activities. And you cannot be influenced when you are empowered. You cannot be influenced with tokens of 5,000 or 25,000. That is the truth. So a lot of
definitely.
our youth who are impoverished are not able to control that because they are not empowered. So when you are empowered, it's going to cope and reduce this to the drastic level. Like in our state, we have a lot of means of life of empowerment platform that if being
Yes.
harnessed very very well by the government, a lot of our youth are not going to be poor. But
Mm,
the because of the vast majorities of issues surrounding the state has slowed the present government from reaching out to those spaces. And I think the present government is going to utilize that opportunity very well. Why? We have a tea production plant in Taraba State that
mm.
is one of the largest in northern Nigeria. Now, the exporting line has its own reach to Jordan, Jerusalem, and other Asian countries. And this company has the possibility
Yes.
of empowering a lot of youth if they are being introduced to this program, to this
Network. It's been an amazing time with Honorable the Master on the show. And I know he'll be joining us in a bit because the network is just shaking. And we are near to wrapping it up on the show though. I hope you come online with this song. Taraba State, now and the future. It's been an amazing time with Honorable Danjuma Terima. He is, all right, he's joining us again. Honorable Danjuma Terima is the Special Advisor and Chief Protocol Officer to Usa Local Government of Taraba State. He's also known as the Master. He's also the Chairman PDP Youth Support Group, USA and Yansu look SCDA. We hope he will join us very soon. His network just went off, and he will be joining us again pretty soon. He is a strong PDP youth mobilizer. You can join the conversation. You can make your comments in the comment section. It is definitely going to be read to our guest on the show. It's Naija Parliament. It's me. It's your boy. It's your uncle. It's your facilitator. The man they might call Babalogic. Always giving you back to back content upon content that help um, uh, both in the political space, in the business space, in the career space, just name it, in the health space. Always bringing you valuable information that will help make a better nation. Our guest is right on again on the show. He's back.
I really
All right,
apologize for network
yeah,
interruption.
you're welcome back. You're welcome back. You were telling us
Yes,
about the tea factory in Taraba.
yes, the tea industry, we all know that globally is a very big industry, and a lot of countries are surviving on that.
Yeah.
And we also know about palm trees. We have one of the best palm oil in the country, and we know a lot of countries
Hmm.
in northern and southern Asias are benefiting from there. We know that popularly Malaysia is surviving on
On palm
palm
tree.
as their main
Yes,
source of income. So we have them. We have a lot of natural things that if harnessed properly, it can bring the youth out of poverty. For instance, I have over 500, just maybe merely 1,000 plantation of palm. And if I'm being
Hmm.
empowered and given soft grants, I may double it up to maybe 10,000.
Def-
So now, when I double
Definitely.
up the 10,000 in the next 4 years, I will become a real employer of labor. Okay, multiply, give it a multiplying effect. Maybe like multiple of us in Babin, if you give like 10,000 youths this possibility,
Yeah,
you will discover that in
yeah,
2 years' time we'll become real employer of labor. We'll be employing
definitely.
workers from outside the state, then
Hmm.
increasing the outputs and the profitability of the states. And thereby, when the youth are engaged, my brother, violence will be reduced.
You're right. You're right. I can agree with you. Youth empowerment will always reduce electoral violence uh, drastically, election violence rather drastically. All right. I want to ask. We have just few minutes to the wrapping up of the show. Um, we'll be having a new government come May 29 in Taraba and in other states. I heard that had that election. I want to ask, what do you think that the incoming government can do to surpass what the current government is doing? What do you think if it does this, if it does that, it can help better the lives of the people of Taraba State?
Very simple. If he can make security is priority, where there is absolute
Mm,
peace, development thrive. Development do
mm,
not only come by government infrastructural intervention. Development can also come
yes,
through the people. So when there is absolute peace, and the peace we're having, most of them are incurred peace. Most of them are not mostly internal. They are incurred peace. And they are incurred
yeah,
conflict. Sorry, the conflict we have, they are
mm,
always incurred conflict, not internal conflict.
mm,
So the only thing is
yeah,
to set a barrier that blocks such kind of thing, because mostly is farmers headers clashes. By when a community A, B, C is
yes,
is being infiltrated or is being attacked, development that
yeah,
would have passed through such community to the next community will be blocked. This crisis here will serve as a blockage to development crossing to the other part. So that means
mm,
crisis or conflict in any zone will definitely affect or the entire cycle of the society. So peace should be the paramount priority, and then a revamping of Taraba industries. We have, like I
mm,
told you about Taraba tea farms. We also have our cucumber
yeah,
farm It's a very gigantic project. It's a greenhouse project by some experts from the east. Then then we also have Taraba rice farm, and the rice farming program has been one of our biggest programs so far since the time of Jolinyami. Then we also have Taraba cassava processing plant. We also have Taraba asphalt plant. We also have some mineral resources that are laying waste. They can also be brought forward, and youth can be engaged in such sites to bring them to fruition, and that will also bring money to the states, and other youths are going to be gainfully employed. We also have one of the biggest dam in the world. We have Kashimbila Dam. Kashimbila Dam, where a lot of activities going on, there are fishing activities and its resources. So a lot of youth can be engaged in that. Then we have cocoa. Why not? The states can partner with other cocoa exports platform and bring them down to the states and make it a program of the state. We can be processing cocoa here and be sending the processed goods. We can be exporting the processed goods direct from here. And there's presently there are people
Honorable
from
Master.
Vietnam. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so many. There are so many. There are so many. There are so many.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right,
Yeah.
all right. We like I said, we are wrapping up on the show. All right, I just want to give you in 30 seconds. What can you say, or what's your comment on the recent political amazements in Adamawa State? Just in 30 seconds.
Like I earlier said, the issue of Adama State is ethno-religious influenced political clashes, because the Fulani extraction seems to want to claim dominance over the indigenous ethnic tribes, which are Madagali people, Madagali, Margi, all the Michika and all the like, and the incumbent governor is from Madagali, and it will be very difficult for Fulani extraction to support a tribal Muslim. So that has given a lot of clash. They want to impose the Fulani politician, Fulani woman on them by all means, because she have the backing of other people, the monetary capacity, and the national connections. But the will of the
That's
people
right.
prevail, and that has always been the will and what we want in Nigerian political space.
All right. Okay. Now, finally, before you give us your parting words, before you tell people of Taraba and all of our fans watching us right now on the show, your parting words. Um, we have the All Progressive Congress for another 8 years because our president-elect, as announced by the Independent Electoral Commission, uh, the APC won the election. I don't want to go into the details of the election and whatever. I just want to get your comment. What do you think that the incoming government, like the president now, what do you think they can do to better the lives of Nigerians and
They are
different from what the current governor is, the current president has done?
the ideal problem of Nigeria is down up, is not up down. The last administration
Okay.
are mistaking that by trying to solve the problem from up down, which has given it a colossal error, colossal failure. So I think the present
Mm.
administration, though due to their manifesto, I think they'll do good by going down up. When I mean down up, is starting from the micro, and our grassroots. Grassroots are the people of Nigeria, because vast majority of the people in Nigerians are in the rural area, so they are in the grassroots. So now, when you start by autonomizing the local government sector, now the local government should be given an entity, should be independent of the state's interference. If they are independent, they plan their budget, pass it, and implement it on their own without interference of the state. Secondly, they can make the judiciary and the legislature to be independent, and also they should take priority in education, because when one is not educated, he will never have to know the essence of humanity. So education give us exposure and all that. So they should focus on education. They should introduce ranching to stop nomadic farmers from going around having issues with farmers and all the like. I think if these are given priority, Nigeria will thrive, and everything is going to change, and it will distinct them from the previous administration. And the issue of security should also be given priority. Thank you very much.
All right, let's get your parting word. What do you have to tell your people, Taraba State, and what do you have to tell amazing fans listening to us right now?
What I want to tell my people in Taraba State is that we have a new government, someone that is has the mind of the people and is ready to kickstart his job whenever office is handed over to him. And I want to tell my opposite religion that we are first human being before we have been religious. If I am giving birth to in a Muslim family, I will believe that I am a Muslim to the core, and I would like to stand by my faith. But it shouldn't give me right to kill a fellow human being because he's not from my religion. Secondly, development that has no tribe or religion. Thirdly, economic hardship also has no tribe or religion. So we should support
At
our
all.
present government and give it. How do you support a government? By making sure you don't incite your people or instigate a group of persons against the plans and policies of the government. By then, government can have the opportunity to thrive. And in Nigeria, I want to tell other people to sheath their swords. I know I'm a core supporter of PDP and Atiku Abubakar. He lost out in the election due to selection. But what I want to advise Nigerians is that we should get to work. We, the youth, should get ourselves involved. If they don't employ us, we should employ others. By so doing, by 2027, despite the errors done to us, we are going to change a lot of things in Nigeria because we will sponsor it from our pocket and nobody is going to intimidate us once again. And what is done in Adamawa should be replicated in Nigeria. The REC was paid to create havoc, but the masses, the will of the people prevailed. They went hijack the REC and make him do the right thing, and Nigeria responded positively, and the INEC as well. If Yakubu was removed from the seat when he was trying to announce a fake result, we wouldn't have the errors we have today. But we should have patience and faith and pray for the present administration. Things are going to be right. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Honorable Dan, the master on Naija Parliament. In his concluding version, he has said so many things. Honorable Dan, it's amazing having you on the show today.
Thank
And
you very
we,
much.
we, hope, and we hope you honor our invitation whenever we invite you next time to come on the show.
I'm very, very, very available at any time you need me. We are politicians. We are everly there to talk to the people. That is our career.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
that is how it should
Yes,
be.
sir.
Thank you so much. Do have a nice day.
Yes, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Yeah.
Mhm.